Good afternoon. On October 29th, 2022, at 2 a.m. in the morning, our deputies responded to the Toxic Lounge at Sand Lake and South Orange Blossom Trail in reference to a shooting. If you recall, 6 people were struck by gunfire. One woman was shot in the head, gravely injured, but she survived her wounds. About 30 minutes later, our deputies responded to the Euphoria Hookah Lounge nearby on Central Florida Parkway for another shooting. There was no one injured at that shooting. So we know that this type of violence has people concerned in our community, and frankly, it concerns me as well. But our detectives have been working on these cases for months, really hard. So today we are pleased to announce that 25-year-old Christian Burgos has been charged in those crimes. He's charged with 6 counts of attempted murder for the shooting at the Toxic Lounge, and he's also charged with shooting into an occupied dwelling for the shooting at the Euphoria Hookah Lounge. So Burgos has an extensive violent criminal history. He is currently in the Seminole County Jail for federal gun charges. He's also facing murder charges for a homicide in Kissimmee. So this time I'm going to turn it over to Detective Robert Gotham to give you some more specifics on the investigation and case. Robert.
Good afternoon. So throughout the investigation, we received numerous tips from the public and the community. We'd like to thank the public for all the tips we received, which in conclusion led to the arrest or the charges being filed on Christian Burgos for the shootings. This is an example of why it's very important for people to call Crime Line and report any information they have in regards to any case. During the course of our investigation, we learned that Burgos was connected to a rival nightclub that was outbidded by the Toxic Lounge for this to host a rapper by the name of Young Chimmy. Young Chimmy was set to perform on that night of the shooting, October 29th, 2022. In January, Burgos was arrested by the Orlando Police Department for possession of firearm by convicted felon charges. The ATF was able to adopt that case and charge Burgos federally in April of 2023. To this date, Burgos still remains in the Seminole County Jail, pending trial on those charges. One of the firearms recovered during the arrest of Burgos for the previous charges was an AR-15 style rifle. That rifle was the same rifle used to shoot at the Toxic Lounge and the Euphoria Lounge, October 29th, 2022. Through investigative means, we were able to place Burgos at both shooting scenes at the time of the shooting. And now I will open up for any questions that anybody may have.
So you said that Burgos was connected to a rival nightclub, though. Was he specifically going after one person in this, or was he going after just everyone?
At this time, we just know that he was connected to a rival nightclub that was outbidded for this rapper.
So this was all about getting the rapper, he couldn't get the rapper at his nightclub. So he shot at the club that did win having the rapper there.
That is what the investigation does.
Was he aiming for the rapper specifically?
At this time, we don't know what he was aiming at.
Was that on the same night that the rapper was performing at Toxic?
Yes, ma'am.
Was the other nightclub the Hookah Lounge, or was it something else entirely?
So the other nightclub was the Euphoria nightclub or Euphoria Hookah Lounge. That throughout the investigation, we learned that the Euphoria Hookah Lounge was said to have like an after party for the people who went to the Toxic Lounge.
You said he's in custody in Seminole County. Can you say why?
The ATF charges.
Do you have more details about the Kissimmee murder?
No, ma'am, I can't speak on that.
And what nightclub was he connected to?
At this time, I'm not able to provide that kind of information.
Can you say what he did there?
I'm sorry?
What he did at that nightclub? Did he own it? Did he work there?
At this time, I can't include his involvement to that nightclub.
You talked about tips from the public helping you out. Can you expand on that a little bit more? What were these tips?
I can't get too far into the tips that were provided, but the tips led to a successful investigation and outcome of the investigation.
So the key in connecting him was the AR-15
Yes, ma'am.
to the shootings of the 2 nightclubs.
we had covered it that night, and just looking at it, it seemed like he, like you said, shot from the road into that club. A lot more people could have been hurt or even killed. Can you just talk about how dangerous what he was doing was?
It was very,
Outside.
yeah, it was very dangerous. It's a very populated area. The club especially was, it was set to perform a rapper, and a lot of people were there. But yes, it was very dangerous.
Where are the gloves supposed to be? Brown shirt cuffs, orange shirt cuffs, to stop this kind of situations in nightclubs?
Good.
So I'll just answer some of the questions that may have gone without some information, but the homicide in Kissimmee, that was related to a robbery attempt, and that's how the homicide occurred. And going back to the question about what could have happened. So 6 people were struck by gunfire at the toxic nightclub, and apparently, there were a lot more people there. So we could have had multiple killings at that toxic lounge. We're very thankful that although the injuries were serious, that no one passed. And it's extremely reckless, extremely dangerous, and even evil to shoot a weapon like the AR-15 into a crowd or into a nightclub like that. So as far as the different clubs, we do a number of operations at clubs after hours, specifically targeting ones that do not have proper licensing. And even though sometimes the state is not available to handle that, we do those operations ourselves. We send in plainclothes detectives to buy alcohol. We're constantly doing surveillance with unmarked vehicles in those areas where we know we've had issues before.
Sheriff, do you mind just expanding? So he was originally brought in on federal gun charges in Seminole County. How was he connected to the Kissimmee murder? Did he confess to the Kissimmee and to the shooting of the 2 nightclubs?
Yeah, we don't have any information on the Kissimmee one, but I will just say that yes, we were able to connect him to the crime, because of the gun charges, and then also by other investigative means, we're able to put him at both scenes on the night of the crime.
You said he has a violent criminal history, Sheriff. Can you talk about his criminal history before these incidents that we're discussing here today?
Yeah, I know he has 4 felony convictions, I think a total of 11, 12 arrests, multiple armed robbery charges, armed carjacking, multiple aggravated battery calls, cases as well. So, but 4 convictions, possession of firearm by convicted felon, of course, as well.
Is it worrying, we have someone who has a long rap sheet and shoots and was able to get a gun and then shoot and hurt innocent people?
Well, again, part of the problem we have, not only in this area, but across the nation, is that, people who are convicted felons obviously aren't buying their firearms legally. Most of them get them through stealing them, whether that's in houses, but mostly unlocked vehicles. We have a number of firearms that are stolen each year because people left their vehicle unlocked, or got complacent or lazy and left their firearm in their car overnight. And so that's why we're constantly putting out messages to lock up your firearms.
Talk about how hard detectives had to work to put this together, because all 6 that were shot were inside. None had seen the car that drove by. What did
You wanna
it
take
take to make this arrest?
I'm sorry, the second part of the question. I'm sorry.
What did it take to make this arrest? You had no one that saw his car.
Mhm.
You guys really had to put a lot of work into piecing all of this together.
Yeah, these types of investigations are long-term investigations. So detectives have to track down every lead, talk to every party there was, and literally months of investigations, but the outcome was successful.
To expand on that, did it start with surveillance video of the car as the car was taking off, and then just kind of connected that to the tips that came in?
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody good? Thank you, Sharon. Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.